Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to present the 11th BML Munjal Awards. The annual BML Munjal Awards for Business Excellence through Learning and Development recognize organizations who have demonstrated business excellence through innovations in learning and development. The awards are named after the Hero Group Chairman and Padma Bhushan awardee, Dr. Brijmohan Lal Munjal, a visionary leader who has built a business conglomerate that is inspiring for the nation. He personifies the group's success in every way by fostering a continuous focus on training, learning, and development, resulting in business excellence. Now I invite our Joint Managing Director, Hero Motor Corp, and Chairman, Hero Corporate Service Private Limited, Mr. Sunil Kant Munjal, to kindly grace the stage and address this August gathering. Can we have a round of applause, please?
Good evening, Mr. Rajyavardhan Rathore, High Commissioner, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 11th BML Munjal Awards. In the morning when we started the Mind Summit today, I'd said it seems a bit strange, since this is the first time we had this summit without the presence of our founder and group chairman. And likewise, this evening too, these awards, or the award ceremony, seems a little bit different from the way it's normally been carried out, because he has been here every time himself to be present, to give out the awards, to give some people a pat on the back, or have a conversation with them to understand what's going on, and in his own very gentle way, push people towards more efficiency, more productivity, better relationships, building more connections. This is a somewhat unusual award. While there are many awards that recognize companies which have excelled either in growth, profitability, brand building, etc., there are not many that recognize companies with a designed strategy with focus on people development and whose business actually gains from this strategy. The whole idea started when we saw India grow rapidly post the reform program in the early 90s. And pretty soon you could see that some of the challenges of growth will be that high growth throws up, it actually pushes back. And we saw that in the late 90s and the early 2000s, when commodities pricing went up, when we hit a wall in terms of talent and availability of talent. So this was then considered an idea to encourage companies to focus on this as one of the important strategies, which is why this became an award, not just for the HR department, not only for the development manager, not just for the personnel department, but for the CEO and for the board of the company. So this recognizes all aspects of a business and how much of the focus or weightage there is on people and people development. Before we start the ceremony for the evening, I'd like to thank both our chief guest and our guest of honor for doing us the honor of being here with us this evening, because they both are distinctive in what they do, in their own way, playing a unique role in encouraging people in many different ways. I would also like us to see a small AV on the group chairman before we start the evening, just to remind ourselves what we are doing and why we are doing this. Can we have the AV, please? I see many familiar faces here who would know what the awards are about and what the process is. But for those of you who are not familiar, I will just take a couple of minutes to explain how this process is run. I already told you what the idea is. There is a completely independent process in this selection of who gets shortlisted and who finally are chosen to be the companies which get these awards. This started in the early days with only 2 awards, one for the private sector and one for the public sector. On advice from the jury members, the jury incidentally is an independent jury, we added manufacturing and services in the private sector and 1 award in the public sector, which then went on to add an award for a new shining star, because there are so many opportunities for small companies, but there's not enough recognition for them. We added that category this year. And we also had many of our earlier winners who continued to be winners in their fields and would have won this award again and again. So there was a separate category created this year called the Hall of Fame category for previous award winners for the companies that continue to excel in the very same areas. Requests are sent out for applicants, for companies to apply for these awards. And the list of the top performing companies is also picked by a team which does this assessment. There is a criteria which is pre-decided based on which the assessments are done. And the companies which are then shortlisted in this list go to a group of independent experts. And these experts are made up from different aspects of business. We have people from the HR department, accounting department, finance, operations, strategy, all of them come together. And there is a very, very extensive process of shortlisting companies here. And these are members from different organizations. They also have academics as a part of this process. Grant Thornton is the partner who runs the entire process to ensure its objectivity and accuracy. The companies then shortlisted are visited by a team to ensure that the data presented is as on paper as it is on the ground in terms of what's going on in these companies. The companies, this short list of companies is then put forward to an independent jury. Unfortunately, we don't have both the chairs. This jury had 2 chairs this time, Mr. Ajay Sriram of DCM Sriram and Mr. Janmay Sinha, the chairman of BCG in India, with the 2 jury chairs. And this jury is made up of very eminent individuals, again, who come from different walks of life, from industry. We have academics, and we have economists, all of them looking at this aspect. And the names of the companies which get shortlisted is then finally read out here as a part of the award process, which are given out by our guests. So I'd just like to say thank you to all those who are involved in the process, because it is a very, very extensive process which takes months on end to complete. And a special thank you to the many companies who apply, because there is outstanding work going on. The final shortlisted companies incidentally come and make a presentation to the jury who make the final choices. There again, they have a system of rating, ranking, or the jury is free to make their own choice regardless of rating and ranking. I see Kedo Bhargav here, who has actually chaired this jury a few times in earlier years. And I see a few others who have actually been on this jury earlier. So they are somewhat familiar with the process. A special thank you to jury members as well, and our team which works in the background to put all these papers together, and to Grant Thornton's team for doing a wonderful job with these awards. So in advance to the winners, many congratulations to those who applied but did not make the final cut. Good luck for next time. But I have to say it was a difficult choice in some cases to make. And I know the expert group before us had an even tougher choice because they were looking at a very, very large number to try and filter them down from there. So all the very best and good luck for a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Would request you to kindly stay back on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for our guest of honor, Sir Dominic Asquith, British High Commissioner to India. Can we have a round of applause for His Excellency? Welcome, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we can do with a much bigger round of applause, please. Up next, it's time we invite our beloved chief guest, the pride and joy of India. With a thundering round of applause, let's invite on stage Colonel Rajyavardhan Singh Rathore, Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Government of India. Welcome, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, with a much bigger round of applause, let's invite our Chairman and Managing Director, Hero Motorcorp, on stage, Mr. Pawan Munjal. Welcome. You can very much see on stage the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and with that, we start with the fabulous, fabulous set of awards. The wait is finally over, and the moment to reward your efforts in pursuing business excellence has pretty much arrived. A few minutes from now, a few names will emerge from the shortlist to claim the award they richly deserve. I would now request Dr. Tapan Panda to kindly join me on stage and take this award ceremony forward. Can we have a round of applause for Dr. Tapan Panda? Welcome, sir.
Our Chancellor was talking about the rigorous process that we have followed in this award. I'm a part of this exercise. I know how difficult it was. And particularly for the sustainable excellence category, we have to develop a mathematical model to arrive at a winner there. So I'll request each of the team members, first I'll read the citation, then they'll come here with the team lead, take the award here, and then have a photograph with the group, with the guests here, then go back to the stage, and finally all of them will come together for a group photograph for this evening. Our Chancellor was talking about that we have created a new category, Emerging Stars. I'll be reading the Emerging Star one. Let's give them a big hand because that's a company which has got the potential to become big in future. The 11th BML Munjal Award for Business Excellence through Learning and Development for the year 2016 in the Emerging Star category goes to Iker Global Services India Private Limited. Iker Global Services India is a rising star in after-sales service industry. The company's service and customer orientation has promoted both national and global players, including Apple, Microsoft, Carbon, Panasonic, and Reliance Jio, to choose Iker as their preferred partner in India. Iker's significant and extensive training programs have paid rich dividends, and the company has doubled its revenues within just 3 years of inception. Given the diverse and wide-ranging portfolio of products that its personnel handle, plus high attrition rates, low pricing, and a lack of brand recognition that characterizes this industry, Iker clearly operates in a challenging environment. Yet the company has channeled the challenges into opportunities by focusing on people development. It was skilling and financial incentives to enhance productivity levels. Its innovative learning and development strategies like Rise the Bar, RTB, and the Elite Service Program, ESP, could set new industry best practices in the coming years. Convinced that the business success is driven largely by a strong belief in people, learning, and development, the jury is pleased to confer the 11th BML Munjal Award for Business Excellence through Learning and Development in Emerging Star category on Iker Global Services India Private Limited. The team will be led by Mr. Sanjay Vidyarthi. Please join on stage. Yes, please come and speak towards.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. At ICOR India, we have absolutely amazing four-dimensional belief system. The first dimension is we are very proud of our legacy. For 1800 years, from 180 to 1880, we were either number one or number two economy in the world. We absolutely understand business excellence. Our second dimension is our absolute confidence that in about 30 years, we are going to be number one or number two economy of the world. Now, the world is telling us we'll be about $85 trillion economy by 2050. The third belief or understanding we have is that we, the people sitting here, and most of us in my company, are about 8%, top 8% of India. And that 92% of India still earns less than 10,000 rupees a month. It is in my company, 80% of my population comes from the lowest strata of Indian polity. It is incumbent of the 8% Indians to give a hand to the 92% Indians to really become the number one economy in the world. And the fourth dimension, which we believe, is that the fulcrum of our success is our people. If we are able to make a difference in the lives of our people, they're going to deliver an excellent performance, therefore delighting our customers, who will award us more business, therefore we can make more money, and therefore we will build a very valuable company for our customers, for our shareholders, and for our employees, and therefore, which will enable us to invest back in our employee. Our story begins and ends with our employees. It's a great day for us that our belief system has been validated by such a prestigious award, by recognizing the efforts which we are putting in people development. So I'm very, very thankful for this honor which BML Munjal Award has bestowed on us. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
As Mr. Munjal was referring about how tough the competition was, and it was not a process of elimination, but a process of selection. So though there are a couple of awards here, but all the teams have done great work, and we look forward that these teams will continue to participate in these award functions for the coming years with new experiences, new exercises, and new strategies. And to go ahead with the award function, there's a special mention in the manufacturing sector to Lupin Limited. I would like to read out the citation. The 11th BML Munjal Award for Business Excellence through Learning and Development for the year 2006 in the private sector manufacturing category has a special jury mention for excellent work done by Lupin Limited. This company has done exemplary work in linking learning and development strategies with innovation, and this has led to sustained business performance. Lupin has been growing at double the industry rate for the last 32 quarters. A substantial part of this growth has occurred from a dynamic and effective learning and development program that has been deployed across functions and locations. Taking note of the company's contribution in the area of distributive leadership and its ability to develop a talent and leadership pipeline, the jury accords Lupin a special mention in the private sector manufacturing category as part of the 11th BML Munjal Award for Business Excellence through Learning and Development. I'll request Sir Dominic to present this award to Mr. Dibakar and his team, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can do much better. Let's have a huge round of applause for the winners.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be a little brief. In our company, we think training is, employee development and training is like any other function, like marketing and like technology and R&D. So the focus on employee development is treated as a basic business input. And secondly, the business that we are in, which is pharmaceuticals and innovation and science and research, a company is as good as the people that it has and as smart as the people that we have and as skilled as the people that we have. So the focus on learning and development is not just the responsibility of the HR function, but it's a boardroom agenda item. And because what we do is ultimately based on what our people do, and that is why so much of focus and so much of emphasis and so much efforts on learning and development in the company, and this has been going on for the last 3 decades. And smart and skilled people results in better results, better business results, and that we've been showing for the last 32 quarters. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to the jury for giving us the award, and we hope to be back here next year.
I'll go straight to the winner of private sector manufacturing. The award goes to Maruti Suzuki India Limited. The 11th BML Munjal Award for Business Excellence through Learning and Development for the year 2016 in the private sector manufacturing category goes to Maruti Suzuki India Limited. Maruti Suzuki has a market share of 45% and enjoys customer satisfaction over 90%. This is a remarkable performance given the company's size, geographical spread, and the high average age of their workforce. Hence, much credit goes to the company's learning and development leaders who have not only aligned learning and development strategies with business goals, but have also prioritized people initiatives over other business objectives. The company's unique learning and development framework, which is a technology-driven platform to deliver content through an online development center. Maruti Suzuki has also built focused programs for sales, quality, and customer response teams spread across a pan-India network. Such initiatives have reduced costs and led to quicker introduction of new products, besides providing other sources of competitive advantage. At the same time, behavioral programs for associates and supervisors like Safalta Ki Udan and Saksham have been recognized as next practices in the Indian automobile industry. Such accomplishments are particularly creditworthy considering the large and diversified workforce. Recognizing this, the jury is pleased to unanimously confer the 11th BML Munjal Award for Business Excellence through Learning and Development in the private sector manufacturing category on Maruti Suzuki India Limited. I'll request Mr. Rajyavardhan and his team to join on the stage, and Mr. Rajyavardhan Singh Rathore to present the award, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause for the winners.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are very privileged, very honored to be part of this award function today. And we applied first time, we got it first time. Really, really privileged speaking to you at this point of time. Fortunately, the vision laid in 1982-83 for the company and for the human resource development focus by Mr. Bhargav, right here with us as our chairman right now. So we still get this benefit of his vision getting translated into this dynamic business environment, huge changes over the last 33 years. And Dr. Panda mentioned 45% market share. Let me correct it. It is 47% right now, just 31st March ending. And we'll continue our effort. This vision of bringing all training into a central academy, I think the chairman was there 3 years back, which is now a vision which is implemented. Now we have a Maruti Suzuki Training Academy looking after entire centralized, very highly focused training function for all business verticals, including human resources. And to a great extent, Mr. Bhargav has been having this real positive bias for developing shop floor technicians, associates, workmen. We really feel very pride that we are looking at a long journey on this count so that they become managers in Maruti. It has happened in the past. It will happen in the future. I really, really thank you for this opportunity. And I sincerely hope that part of this summit of Hero Mind, which is a great partner for Maruti in various training initiatives, you people do well. And when you will be doing well, you will be needing cars. Please remember buying only Maruti cars. Thanks a lot.
That's interesting to look at how they have taken an academic approach towards building a learning and development initiative inside the organization. Let's move on to the service sector. And the 11th BML Munjal Award for Business Excellence through Learning and Development for the year 2016 in the private sector service category goes to Tata Consultancy Services Limited. Business excellence at TCS is based on the pillars of speed, scale, and spread, the 3S. This is exemplified through a relentless focus on learning and development strategies and tools. The company has maintained its leadership position despite a difficult economy and challenging business environment. The company's unique iTeach program has seamlessly integrated a discussion forum featuring subject matter experts, external vendor content, video streaming solutions, and peer-to-peer collaboration platforms. The company has also enhanced its learning and development quotient across multiple locations with the help of social and digital platforms, gamified content, virtual labs, and nanoed videos. For its exemplary work in setting benchmarks and for guiding the Indian IT industry into new orbit of learning and development, the jury has decided to confer the 11th BML Munjal Award for Business Excellence through Learning and Development in the private sector service category on Tata Consultancy Services. The team is led by Mr. Damodar Padi, so I'll invite them to come to the stage and receive the award from Mr. Rajyavardhan Singh Rathore, please.
I will briefly speak on two aspects. First one is about the award itself. From Tata Consultancy Services, we keep winning awards, but I will tell you, this award really felt special. We won it, we applied for the first time and also won the first time, but the rigor that was followed while picking the winner for this award was something I had at least not experienced while I received several other awards in the company. So first of all, congratulations for the rigor that is followed for this award. Second one is about our company, as it was called out, scale, speed, and spread. Last year, our CEO made an announcement to the world that we'll upskill 100,000 of our associates in digital technologies. He made one of the inspiring statements that goes like this: we have legacy technologies, but no legacy people. So all people can be upskilled to stay relevant in the marketplace. So when we talk about 100,000 employees, that talks about the scale. And he said we'll upskill all these associates in 1 year. That talks about speed. And these associates are spread in 50 different countries, represented by 120 different nationalities. That talks about the spread. So to upskill associates in such a complex environment requires very unconventional thinking. And our answer to that unconventional thinking was to design and deploy our own digital learning platform, for which we have invested significantly in the industry and also discovered a lot of learning innovations in the process. So that's, we achieved our target. We'll continue our journey to upskill more and more associates. But that was the basis with which we applied for this award, and I'm very proud to see that we eventually won the award. Thank you very much. Thanks for the group, and thanks to all of you here.
Congratulations, sir. We'll move on to the next award. Who says that public sectors don't do well? Sometimes public sectors are also benchmark for the global players. So the next award goes to Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited under the public sector category. The 11th BML Munjal Award for Business Excellence through Learning and Development for the year 2016 in the public sector category goes to Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. Let's give a big hand to them. Well, stellar performance over the years stands testament to the fact that being a public sector undertaking is no deterrent for success. Well has developed a workforce that is inspired, proud, and deeply committed. Recently, the company has entered into a number of emerging business to create new avenues of growth. Talent deployment in these areas has taken place entirely through sustained learning and development initiatives. Across the organization, a strategic learning and development drive seeks to enhance the performance level of a technology-centric workforce. Through a Saptarishi model, the company identifies next-generation training needs, disseminates knowledge through e-learning portals and app-based training programs. BHEL encourages technical trainings, redesigns leadership programs, provides online 24/7 content support across for self-paced learning, and organizes knowledge transfer workshops to distribute tacit knowledge. Recognizing these initiatives, the jury is pleased to confer the 11th BML Munjal Award for Business through Learning and Development in the public sector category on Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. The team will be led by Mr. Bandopadhyay and members. Please join on stage, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my proud privilege to receive such prestigious award on behalf of 43,000 odd employees of BHEL who have actively participated in our L&D initiatives. In fact, as BHEL in public sector, we stand for the self-reliance of power sector within this country. And right from our inception, we have been associated in developing our own people, our manpower. And today also, our manpower, our human resource is the main strength, our backbone of surviving in this competitive world. That I am standing here on this podium today because of all the active participation of our employees, whether it is training need identification, web-based, whatever has been described earlier, or the success of more than 99% success of the Harvard Business Management Program and other initiatives. So it is a great moment for us that we got such acknowledgement, and I am really thanking you on behalf of all my employees, all our employees. Thank you very much.
Let's come to the last one, the toughest one, which talks about sustained excellence over a longer period of time. The 11th BML Munjal Award for Business Excellence through Learning and Development for the year 2016 in the Sustained Excellence category goes to Tata Steel Limited. Tata Steel symbolizes India's post-independence tryst with self-reliance and in recent decades, the nation's quest for manufacturing excellence. It continues to excel today through constant investments in people, process, and technology. It has overcome adverse conditions in the global economy, sluggish sectoral growth, and rapid changes in consumer demand to transform itself. A crucial part of this transformation is the result of sustained investments in learning and development. As a company, Tata Steel has touched the lives of millions of stakeholders, including local communities and extended families of employees. By investing constantly in people, their welfare, and their skills, Tata Steel continues to create goodwill, empathy, and sustainable competitive advantage. A systematic approach to learning and development through goal setting, the integration of learning and development goals into the strategic planning process, and a persistently strong commitment to people power has prompted the jury to induct Tata Steel into the BML Munjal Awards Hall of Fame. The company thus becomes the first recipient of BML Munjal Award in Sustained Excellence category for the year 2016. I'll request Mr. Narendran and his team to come and join, and Mr. Rajyavardhan Singh Rathore to give the award, please.
Thank you. In the interest of full disclosure, I was part of the jury, but not for this award. Thank you very much. I think it's a privilege. We won this award in the past, and it's an even greater privilege to get the Sustained Excellence Award. Tata Steel as an organization has been a pioneer in many of the HR and human development practices in the country and in some cases in the world as well. We've always believed in investing in our people, and they invest in us. In fact, we are privileged in Tata Steel to have some colleagues who've been fifth-generation workers in Tata Steel. So that's the kind of commitment and passion with which our employees work with us. So it's really an award which is for them. It's also an award for all our employees, not only current but also past, because it's not that we've recently started doing this. We've been doing this for more than 100 years. And so I thank all of them who contributed to us getting this award, and I thank the jury once again for this privilege. Thank you very much.
As Mr. Munjal was mentioning, it's a tough competition. So I guess since we have got only few awards, rest other companies which have participated, came to the final, are also winners. So I look forward to receiving all of them next year, their nominations for participating in this competition, because that's the learning that we have, the best practices that comes from your side. Now, on popular demand, I'll request all the winners to come on the stage for a photograph, please.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a huge round of applause for all the winners.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'll hand over the dais to.
Thank you, Dr. Panda. I would request our guest of honor to kindly address the gathering. Can we have a round of applause for His Excellency?
Good evening, Minister, ladies gentlemen, and very distinguished guests. It is a real delight to be here this evening, and thank you very much for inviting me, Sunil. Very good of you. I'm told and I've heard this award is, it singles out companies that invest in people, it sets benchmarks for industry. In short, it's a reward for companies who've created the conditions for their people to learn. And that's something that is genuinely really close to my heart. Skilling is one of the biggest social and economic priorities today, and a successful society, just like a successful company, is one that places it at the top of its priorities. For that reason, British companies in India spend on average 7% of their total revenue on training and reskilling their employees here. And since I've got you as a captive audience, and I'm here, I'm going to very quickly tell you about three very practical examples of what Britain and India are doing today in this area. The British High Commission is collaborating with partners here to develop very specialized skills in India. The objective is to bring the best practices in training, in pedagogy, and in curriculum from the United Kingdom to India through a network of specialized skill centers, closely involving both the British and Indian industries. And the first specialized center is for the automotive and advanced engineering sector in Pune. 10 master trainers were identified and trained and certified in Britain, and those master trainers returned to India yesterday, and they're now to be deployed with the Automotive and Capital Goods Sector Skills Council to train the trainers. And just to prove the point that you're never too old, all those 10 had either retired or had taken early retirement. Another example, JCB, which is tied up with a government-funded ITI near Delhi. As part of this, the students at the ITI are being trained to become an operator for the JCB machines. The machines and trainers have been provided by JCB. And it also, JCB in India, it also partners 29 government schools to support quality, career-focused education. It runs a number of, 7 of them, vocational training centers for training and production support on hand looms and on handicrafts. And it works with 16,000 students and trainees in the area around its 3 factories. And the third example was one which our Royal Highnesses, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, did when they were in Mumbai, where they visited the Toddy Mill Social to see some examples of what Britain and India do together in business, specifically in our great collaboration campaign, which was launched by our 2 prime ministers in early 2015. Our Royal Highnesses chose to do that precisely to underline the UK's commitment to work with young entrepreneurs to encourage greater awareness of the scale of Britain's commitment to India and to strengthen Prime Minister Modi's Startup India campaign. And in the process, they launched the 2016-2017 Tech Rocket Ships competition, which is the latest in a round of competitions to back young entrepreneurs and their very exciting companies by providing them the chance to travel to Britain for mentoring, to pitch for funding, and to change the world through their technology. And empowering young people to innovate and to commercialize their ideas is absolutely key. So I congratulate the winners of this year's awards, both in the private and the public sector. For those who are in contention but haven't won, I will merely say that there are no losers in this competition, because the very fact that you've taken the task seriously is going to benefit you, your staff, and the society in which you all live. So well done, and thank you to Hero Group and to Mr. Sunil for their sponsorship. Very good to see you here tonight.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our Honorable Chief Guest to kindly grace the stage and address the gathering. Can we have a round of applause for our Chief Guest?
The High Commissioner of Britain, Mr. Dominic, Mr. Pawan Munjal, Mr. Sunil Munjal, the award winners of today, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to first say a few words in memory of Mr. Munjal, Mr. Brij Mohan Munjal. I've been associated with this group, I've been associated with this family, and I have very fond memories of Mr. Brij Mohan Munjal. I think of all the training that all the companies here have been speaking of, all the pamphlets for do's and don'ts in a company, I think all those things came very naturally to him. And he's probably a kind of person who could have written these pamphlets himself. He probably lived them, literally. When I meet some of his dealers, and they speak so fondly of him, it tells me of a man who's nurtured these dealers like a family and brought them up. A man who does so much, who wouldn't give his life for such a man? No wonder this company's done so well. I met Hero Motors' competitor once, and in a very private moment, they spoke very highly of Hero. And I think that day I felt, no doubt, this company is here for good, and this company an asset to our country itself. I congratulate Mr. Pawan Munjal and Sunil Munjal and the entire Hero family for having something like Mind, and the think tanks to not just come up with solutions for the company, but come up with solutions for the society and the country. I think that's a very brave and a positive thing to do. Congratulations for that. Of course, platforms like this, where your work gets complimented, you get a pat on your back, whatever age you are, whether it's individual or a team or a company, it's always extremely encouraging. So be it a school performance or be it performing at the world stage, I think a very, very big hand to the people who won today, because they have not just won because of one day, they won because of years and years of effort and a system that makes these companies do well. I'll put it in a very simple way. In the army, you have a system of, very colloquially, these jawans will say, "Sab, वो जो पलटन है वो बहुत अच्छी करती है, उनके अगर अफसर नहीं होंगे तो भी अच्छी करती है." उनसे पूछो क्यों? बोले साहब बहुत पुराने समय से उनकी जो SOP है, स्टैंडिंग ऑपरेटिंग प्रोसीजर, वो इस तरह से सेट है कि वो उनका गलत काम कभी हो ही नहीं सकता. So this standard operating procedure is like, it's a system that gets into your DNA, where you take care of your people, your company, you train them, you skill them, you inspire them, you motivate them, and then the company does well. So congratulations for the people who won and also for people who will win ahead. Now, there are two things that are most important today: the innovation and the ability to train your people on that innovation so that you can repeatedly perform. And I think that's something, first and foremost, must come naturally to each individual and the company. I always believe if you want to do well, it is an option to you. Do you want to be the engine or do you want to follow the engine? It's an option. Do you want to push or do you want to be pushed? It's an option. Do you want to seek trouble, solve it, and move ahead? Or do you want to wait for the trouble to come and then probably get annihilated because of the problem or not be able to solve it? It's always an option. And so there are two kinds of people in this world. One who will move ahead and make something of their life, and the others probably are comfortable at that point of time and may change their mind over a period of time. So it's a very simple philosophy that you can't do what you've never done until you be what you've never become. So you have to change your persona, you have to change your personality, you have to believe that you can do it, and it's then that you will start solving the issues and start becoming what you dream to become. In the armed forces, I keep giving examples of that because I spent 23 years of my life, the only life that I've known, majority part of it. We trained literally on a daily basis. We rehearsed for programs. We rehearsed for different eventualities. We practiced day and night. And it's only because of that that we could train a team to achieve the results that we wanted to. And this training, I think, is extremely essential in the corporate world as well. I realize now, when I was talking to Mr. Sunil Munjal and saying that now when I need to find a great HR guy, I find it so difficult to get. I have the resources to pay to such a person, but I don't have the right manpower to do that job. And the option is that you need to train such manpower, you need to train such person to deliver the job. Now, problems will always be solved by thinking out of the box, because if you keep doing the same things, you'll get the same results. And if you think of Government of India as India Inc., then we are actually in a scenario where we are solving the problems. We are not only using the government resources, but we are also using the volunteers. When you talk about, when the Prime Minister speaks from the Red Fort and says, I want as many Jan Dhan accounts opened as possible, then it's a mission that's given out to the government. And in a period of 1 to 1.5 years, if 25 crore accounts have been opened, it's not a fluke. It's not happened because the system was used to working well. It's happened because the system was made to work well. It happened because volunteers were inspired to go out and accomplish the task. It's happened because the banks were elevated to the status that you can do the job, and they did do the job. When you have a sort of life insurance being sold out by the government, even be it at 12 rupees, it's again a difficult task to sell a policy to a person that when you die, you're going to get a certain amount of money. But even in that, the government achieved a result of about 12 crores within a span of 1 to 1.5 years. Again, it's an accomplishment when you use your manpower. So not just in the army did we train people. I realized when I came into politics that the volunteers who are there in the villages, we are constantly carrying out their training. We are constantly telling them, when you have Karyakarta Sammelans, you're constantly telling them what the different government policies are. You're constantly telling them how you can overcome the arguments of the opposition and emphasize your point so that the people agree to be part of your policies and join the schemes. Similarly, when there's large amount of urea scam happening, what is the out-of-box solution for that? A very simple one. that you just neem coat the urea. Now, urea was being siphoned off for for producing various chemical products. The moment you put a film of neem coating on it, it could not be used for any other chemical product. And therefore, a very large amount of urea which was being siphoned off is entirely protected now and is going to the end users. When you talk about rural electrification, and it only comes to our mind now when somebody says that 18,000 villages have not been electrified, and they need to be electrified in about 1,000 days. How do you do that? When this electrification lies in the domain of the states. So the center produces an application, hires about 300 engineers who do the accounting part, who do the verification part. And so the application is available to each and every Indian to assess as to how fast the electrification is happening. And the states have to verify, because there are 300 independent verifiers who are verifying independently as well. So there is a sort of a pressure which is built on the states to push forward the electrification process. Another idea of out of the box was the give it up. A large amount of subsidy was going into providing the gas to every household. A very large number of these gas accounts were fake. At a time when the Prime Minister said, let's have a policy of give it up, a lot of people said that Indians cannot ever give up their subsidy, and it became a sort of a joke initially. But today we have 1 crore of Indians who've given up their subsidy. And because of giving up that subsidy, that amount of gas which has been saved is now being provided to the BPL families. So again, these are ideas within our country which are a little out of the box, but have still been able to find the solution. I remember we used to roam around with original documents. You go for an interview, you have to show your original documents. Everyone had to carry its document. So now you have a DigiLocker, which is in the cloud. And you can put all your original documents onto that cloud. And it's connected to your Aadhaar number. So whichever interview you go to, all you have to do is give your Aadhaar number, and they can download your original documents from there. So people don't have to carry it themselves. The process of self-certification, it is in itself a very simple out-of-the-box idea. So variety of these ideas were, in the span of last about 18 months, have been used by the government to try and move forward with the policy, that the policy reaches the right person and the benefit reaches the right person, and we are able to move forward. This huge company, if I could say, the whole India Inc. could move forward. It's difficult to move such a big country, but the process is absolutely on. And it's only happening because of an inspired leadership, because of out-of-box ideas, because of repeated training. These innovations have always changed the scenario of the sport or the field that you are in or the industry that you are in. And I remember high jump in 1968. Till then, the high jump used to be with various techniques. And then came the Fosbury technique. It changed the entire record of high jumping. Similarly, in swimming, they changed the entire technique of swimming, and therefore the record started improving. And last but not the least is the training bit. So when you repeatedly train your team and you inspire your team, they will be able to accomplish the task that you've been provided, that the objects, the mission, the targets that you've given them, they'll be able to achieve that. And there's always a philosophy that when you bring in a new idea, that new idea is going to disrupt the old idea. And therefore, one of our coaches used to say that the best is always the enemy of good. So if you want to move to best, you need to disrupt your company for the moment. And you need to survive that period when you're disrupted so that you can move ahead and become the best. So I wish you all the best, and I compliment once again the winners of these awards. People who would be winning in the future, I congratulate all of you. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So I would request you to kindly stay back on stage. Would request our guest of honor to kindly join us also. It's a humble request to Mr. Pavan Munjal to kindly grace the stage to present the mementos to our guest of honor and our chief guest. I also would request Mr. Sunil Kant Munjal to kindly grace the stage. Can we have a round of applause for the gentleman? A hearty thank you to our guest of honor for giving us your precious time, sir. We can do better. Come on, let's have a huge round of applause. And of course, our honorable chief guest. Thank you, gentlemen, for giving us your precious time. You may please be seated.
So as you're all aware, we normally try and provide some innovative entertainment also in the awards evening. This time, there was almost no debate as to what kind of entertainment we should have. And there was a unanimous agreement that we should do something which recognizes the founder's vision. So we had an interesting discussion amongst ourselves. And we found an actor, a story writer, and a director who has helped the students of the BML Munjal University and the Raman Munjal Vidyalaya School to come up with two versions of a play on Dr. Brijmohan Lal Munjal's life. We will see a shorter version today. This is slightly less than, I think it's about 25 minutes. There is also a longer version they have, which is about an hour and a half. So we thought this evening it would make sense for us to remind ourselves, and for those who did not know him, to see a few snippets from his life. So this is a tremendous effort which has been made by these students, many of whom had never met him, but heard stories about him. So an exercise was done to go around, talk to family and friends who related events or things they had seen. So what you will see is a collection of these events which has been turned into this play. Thank you very much.
University is named after Shri Brijmohan Lal Munjal.
He was born in 1923 in Somalia and Pakistan. During partition, he came to India and started his business from scratch and became one of the leading businessmen of India.
Brijmohan Lal Munjal? Yes. Founder chairman of the Hero Group.
I thought it was named after some hero. Yes! A hero!
Sarvesham Sarvesham There is a hero in every one of us.
An entrepreneur.
An industrialist. A father or a brother or a dada papa.
Leader.
Family.
फिर एम्प्लॉयर, डीलर, वेंडर या कस्टमर, वो सभी से कहते थे
मेरे प्यारे बच्चों।
ऐसे में किन किन से पूछोगे?
कई तो कहते हैं उनसे इतना प्यार मिला मानो हम उनके पांचवें बेटे।
अच्छा, और कईयों का तो यह भी कहना है कि अभी तक उनके रगों में मुंजालों का खून दौड़ता है।
तो क्या क्या पूछोगे?
और कब तक भाई?
हम सुनाते हैं तुम्हें ब्रिज मोहनलाल की कहानी,
पहियों की जुबानी।
आइए अब आपको लेकर चलते हैं लुधियाना में उनके घर 26 नंबर।
वो ओम प्रकाश जी होंगे?
हाँ जी वो हैं, आप बैठिए मैं बुलाकर लाता हूँ।
जी बिल्कुल। धन्यवाद।
अरे दादाजी,
अरे ओम प्रकाश, बस बस।
मार के बैठे हैं।
वो लड़के ने कहा इसीलिए बैठ गया।
दिमाग खराब है उसका, नया है, उससे पता नहीं आपके बारे में।
कोई बात नहीं है, मुझे जरा भी बुरा नहीं लगा।
मैं बुलाता हूँ उसे अभी। कुलदीप जी, तेरे को पता है कौन है ये? मेरे बड़े दादाजी हैं, श्री ब्रिज मोहनलाल मुंजाल। इस घर के मालिक हैं ये, और तूने इन्हें ही।
तुम मुझे शर्मिंदा कर रहे हो। उसने अपनी ड्यूटी की, मुझे अच्छा लगा। जब मैं अपनी ड्यूटी में कोई कोताही नहीं करता तो भला कोई और क्यों करे? कोई बात नहीं, नया है, नहीं जानता था, अब जान गया। आओ चले।
जिन्होंने कर्म को अपना धर्म समझा, निष्ठा और अनुशासन थे जिनका गहना,
अहंकार से तो हमेशा दूर रहे और पास रहे गीता को रखा।
दोस्त, रिश्तेदार और परिवार की जो बने ढाल, वो कर्मयोगी कोई और नहीं खुद ही थे, ब्रिज मोहनलाल मुंजाल। समय का चक्र,
जीवन का चक्र,
मानव सभ्यता की एक जरूरी खोज।
चक्र यानी वीर माने पहिया।
जब कृष्ण ने अर्जुन को गीता का ज्ञान कराया तो उस रथ के पहिए हम ही थे।
देश की आजादी के बाद जिस साइकिल ने लोगों को स्वतंत्रता दी, उसके पहिए भी हम ही थे।
और जिस मोटरसाइकिल ने इस दुनिया को रफ्तार दी, भेस बदलकर हम ही थे।
ये लो गीता पढ़ो। गीता?
अरे तुम जानते नहीं, 10 साल तक ब्रिज मोहनलाल मुंजाल जी ने अपने घर पर गीता का पाठ कराया था।
गीता पढ़े, समझे और खुद गीता जिए भी। अरे अरे, हीरो साइकिल की फैक्ट्री का साइकिल मुझे चलो 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 छुट्टी हो गई। ये तो हजारों की तादाद में चले आ रहे हैं, गर्दन दुख जाएगी आपकी।
थोड़ा सब्र रखो अमृत जी।
मुझे यकीन नहीं हुआ।
आओ।
इतनी तादाद में लोग आते रहे और आप वहीं खड़े सिर झुकाए सबको नमस्ते करते रहे। ट्रूली आई एम इम्प्रेस्ड।
तुम मेरे छोटे भाई जैसे हो, मेरा मकसद तुम्हें इम्प्रेस करना नहीं था।
मुझे पता है, आप तो चेयरमैन हैं, खड़े होकर हाथ हिला देते तब भी वैसे खुश हो जाते।
पर मेरा मकसद वो भी नहीं था।
मतलब?
तुमने महाभारत पढ़ी है, जब भीष्म तीरों की शैया पर सो रहे थे और अर्जुन उनसे ज्ञान लेने पहुंचे, पता है भीष्म ने मानवता के लिए सबसे जरूरी चीज किसे बताया?
क्या बताया?
शील माने ह्यूमिलिटी। समझते हो? और एक बात बताओ, all those workers were very less educated, perhaps even uneducated. If they know how to give respect, don't you think I know how to give it back? घर जाके महाभारत जरूर पढ़ना। आओ चलें।
इसका फायदा उठाना चाहिए।
भ्राता जी, सोने का भाव 150, हमारी साइकिल का भाव भी 150। आपकी क्या राय है?
जद मैं कोयता सी मैं एक साइकिल लिया सी 38 रुपए 18 रुपए नगद देते ते 20 रुपए चार्ज किस्तां। साडा देश आजाद ता हो गया पर बहुता बदलिया नहीं। मोबिलिटी इज बेसिक नीड एंड वी मस्ट सर्व पोरेस्ट ऑफ द पुअर। इसलिए ही पर यूनिट पैसा बचाने फेवर च नहीं मैं।
But looking at market demand, it's a good time to make profit. Exactly, he's right.
मैं हाँ नहीं किया कि आप प्रॉफिट नहीं करेंगे, मैं आ किया कि आप पर यूनिट पैसा नहीं बताना। If we want to make profit, we have to increase the total production. जितने बाकी कंपनियां 100 साइकिल बेच दिया ने, आप 130 साइकिल बेचेंगे, ता टोटल प्रॉफिट था साढ़ा तो बात ही होया ना। अगर डिमांड है तो ये हो जाना चाहिए।
आप हुक्म करें, सब हो जाएगा।
अरे देखो आ गई बला। अरे शादी कब हुई? तो बुलाया क्यों नहीं? हम आशीर्वाद देने आ जाते। तुम बुलाती तो मैं जरूर आता, और अगर मैं बिजी होता तो घर से कोई और आ जाता। हम सब एक परिवार से हैं, एक दूसरे के सुख दुख में काम ना आएंगे तो क्या फायदा। मैं मेरे प्यारे बच्चों सिर्फ बोलता नहीं हूं, मानता भी हूं।
तुम कोई स्पेशल नहीं हो। हर रोज हर किसी के साथ कुछ न कुछ ऐसा ही होता है। हर कोई अपने आप को स्पेशली समझता है। No, you make everyone feel special.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुर्भाग् भवेत्।
आज की पूजा अच्छी रही। पूजा तो हमेशा ही अच्छी रहती है, पर वो तुम्हारा दरवाजा बहुत आवाज करता है।
अच्छा, मैंने तो सुना नहीं।
पूजा के दौरान शांति होनी चाहिए, दरवाजे की आवाज ध्यान भटकाती है। मैं कल ही स्टॉपर भेजता हूँ, लगवा लेना।
नहीं, आप फिक्र मत करो, मैं लगवा लूंगा।
स्टॉपर तुम लगवाओ या मैं, दरवाजे की आवाज बंद होनी चाहिए। मैं कल ही स्टॉपर भेजता हूँ, लगवा लेना।
ठीक है।
रोहित, अरे तुम सो रहे थे?
माफ करिए बाबूजी, जरा आंख लग गई थी इसलिए सो गया था।
चलो कोई नहीं,
अच्छा बाबूजी, आपसे एक बात पूछूं?
पूछो।
कभी कभार शर्म आती है। मैं आपसे उम्र में आधा, तब भी आप मुझसे दुगना कार्य करते हैं, और तब भी इतना फ्रेश। हाउ डू यू मैनेज बाबूजी?
चलो आज एक बात बताता हूँ। ना मैंने कभी मुर्दा खाया, ना कड़वा पानी पिया, ना धुआं कभी अंदर गया तो यज्ञ में जलते घी की खुशबू और सुबह शहर की ताजी हवा। तुम भी अपना लो। अब चले मीटिंग में?
पर अभी तो टाइम है बाबूजी।
अरे थोड़ा पहले पहुंच जाएंगे तो टहल के ताजी हवा खा लेंगे। चलो।
Food is waiting out there. और इस फाइनल साल होटल में मीटिंग का फायदा तो है। मीटिंग के बाद मस्त खाने हैं। मैं तो देख के आ रहा हूँ। फूड लुक्स यम्मी। बस एक बार चेयर में सब आ जाए।
और किसी खाना वाना खाओ और एयरपोर्ट पहुंचो। मुझे कुछ काम है, मैं तुम लोग को वहीं पे मिलता हूँ, ठीक है?
खाना तो खा लीजिए बाबूजी। हाँ बाबूजी।
मैं तो बस घर का बना दाल रोटी खाता हूँ। पास है मेरे। असली स्वाद तो उसी में आता है। तुम लोग जल्दी खाओ और एयरपोर्ट पहुंचो।
तो बाबूजी चले आ रहे। हाँ, मगर कुछ अलग लग रहे। बाल भी बिखरे हुए और कपड़े भी कुछ।
जरा बैग पकड़ना।
सब ठीक तो है बाबूजी?
हाँ बेटा, सब ठीक है। लाओ बैग।
अरे नहीं, ठीक है बाबूजी।
नहीं बेटा, इंसान को अपना बोझ हमेशा खुद उठाना चाहिए। लाओ।
अच्छा बाबूजी, आपसे एक बात पूछे?
पूछो। हर बार ऐसे क्यों बोलते हो? मुझे बुरा नहीं लगता। जो पूछना हो बेझिझक होकर पूछो।
इतनी गर्मी थी, हम सब होटल में थे और आप यूं ही चले गए।
रोज सुबह यज्ञ के आगे बैठता हूँ। इस चमड़े को आदत हो गई है गर्मी की। फरीदाबाद में एक डीलर की बेटी बहुत बीमार है, बहुत तकलीफ में है। उसे देखने चला गया। गर्मी के बारे में सोचता तो उससे ना मिल पाता।
काम था साइकिल पार्ट्स ट्रेडिंग। छोटे से बड़ा काम चारों भाई मिलकर करते।
सत्यानंद जी was handling day-to-day operation in Ludhiana.
दयानंद जी अकाउंट्स और एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन संभालते।
सेल्स की जिम्मेदारी ओम प्रकाश मुंजाल जी की थी।
And strategic planning and business expansion was looked after by Shri Bijmohan Lal Munjal.
Welcome to the annual meeting of All India Bicycle Manufacturer Association. इस मीटिंग में हमें आने वाले साल के लिए कुछ जरूरी डिसीजन लेने हैं। उनसे पहले कुछ नए कंपनी हमसे जुड़ना चाहते हैं। So now I would like to invite Mr. Bijmohan Lal Munjal and Mr. O.P. Munjal of
हीरो और साइकिल।
गली मोहल्ले के भी दुकानदार अब हमारे साथ बैठेंगे।
अरे एक कब से मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करने लग गए, ये तो पार्ट सप्लाई करते हैं।
लुधियाना में कब से बनने लगा, वहां का तो स्टैंडर्ड ही थर्ड ग्रेड है।
चालू और सस्ता।
अगर अपने एसोसिएशन का नाम खराब करना है तो इन्हें शामिल कर लो और मुझे जाने दो।
एक बार इनसे बात तो कर नहीं सकते हैं।
बात और इनसे।
बात और इनसे क्यों भाई, कितनी बड़ी फैक्ट्री है तुम्हारी, कितना प्रोडक्शन होता है एनुअली, इंजीनियर भी है इनकी फैक्ट्री में।
इंजीनियर? अरे नाम करिए है इनके इंजीनियर।
We have technically skilled man.
अरे बस, हमें नहीं सुननी तुम्हारी बात। कुछ दिन चलाओ कंपनी, मार्केट में उतरोगे तब पता चलेगा आटे दाल के भाव क्या हैं।
पर हमें लार्ज स्केल की लाइसेंस ही मिली हुई है।
लाइसेंस? बेटा जी लाइसेंस किसी को भी मिल जाता है, कंपनी चलाओ तो जाने।
यहाँ बहुत बड़ी बड़ी कंपनियां बैठी है, सालों से मार्केट में पकड़ है इनकी। और अभी आप इस लाइफ में मिस्टर मुंजाल के हमारे साथ बैठे, अब आप जा सकते हैं।
पहले कुछ बन जाओ फिर देखते हैं।
प्रभु की कृपा हुई तो वो दिन जरूर आएगा।
With the government financing of rupees 6 lakh, Hero Cycles was registered as a large-scale unit in 1956. Initial production was 25 cycles per day, but soon well-established competitors such as Relay, Hind Cycles, and Atlas were shaken out by the emergence of Hero Cycles. It was cheaper, value for money, reliable, machines made up of fine steel and capable of bearing 80 kg of cargo and 2 adults. Hero became a household name in 1960 after the establishment of Rockman Cycles. They became India's first chain makers. Hero Cycles continuously added new in-house operations, and in 1969, a rim-making plant was established. While competitors began to disappear, production of Hero Group mounted steadily. In 1971, a separate unit, Highway Cycles, was established, and the annual production increased up to 2,20,000 units.
में आ चुकी थी, जिस ऑल इंडिया साइकिल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एसोसिएशन ने उन्हें चेयर देने से इनकार कर दिया था, उसी के अब वो प्रेसिडेंट बन चुके थे। During his speech at Banaras Hindu University, Shri Brij Mohan Lal Munjal explained in a very simple and interactive way. New leader.
A leader must have a clear vision of the future. Initially, one should be a dreamer. The thinking or ideas must have a clear purpose or lakshya.
Values and ethics. If we are not bound and driven by values, we regress by thousands of years into evolutionary process that we are going through.
Focus. A leader should have a clear focus on the activity and also a clear understanding of one's own strengths and weaknesses in order to emerge as a leader.
Building desire. The goal of a leader is intensely backed by the desire to do better on a continuous basis. Such a person would always visualize the benefits of working on alternative methods rather than to stay with existing practices. Such desires lead to innovation.
Thinking positive. One of the most important qualities of a great leader is that he always stays positive. He's ready to put his faith in his teammates, and in doing so, he ensures that he doesn't hurt them. He's always ready to believe in his members. Remember, always believe in the power of your subconscious to heal, inspire, strengthen, and inspire you. Do not believe in things that can hurt you or harm you. What you believe is what's done unto you. You change your thoughts, you change your belief, and you can change your destiny.
Empowering people. A leader must take his people into confidence and make them believe that they can accomplish the task.
Learning and listening. A leader has to be open to listening, which helps him to take feedback and generates tremendous amount of value creation.
Synergy.
Each organization has a number of people or teams working together. They should all be working in the same direction. The entire organization should be able to identify with the lakshya.
Synergy will have a cascading effect in providing the spirit, working for a common goal, and sharing the credit for accomplishing the task.
It has to be a win-win situation for everyone.
Thus, a complete person is one who balances his duties and responsibilities at workplace and at home. One who discharges his social responsibilities. Such a person is respected everywhere.
दिल धीरे धीरे धड़के आज होने को है आगाज सफर पर चलने का बढ़ने का इतना है हौसला मिटना फासला मंजिल ने मिल ही जाना है ओ ख्वाबों से आगे जाना है हमी से तो उम्मीदें हैं हमी से तो दिलासा है हमी पे है निगाहें भी हमी पे भरोसा है हम में है हीरो हम में है हीरो हम में है हीरो है हीरो
सब कहते हैं मैं बड़ा बन गया हूं,
मैंने बहुत पैसे कमा लिए हैं
और लोग भी आपको खूब ऊपर चढ़ाते हैं।
पर ये तो सब वही देता है।
सब वही करता है।
हम सब तो सिर्फ कर्म कर सकते हैं।
और मैंने भी पूरी निष्ठा के साथ बस वही किया।
खुश रहना और बस 4 चीजों का रखना ख्याल, समता, ममता, क्षमता और नम्रता।
Can you all please stay back on stage? All the participants, all the actors, can we all please stand up and give them a huge round of applause? They truly deserve it. They truly deserve it. Excellent. We can do better. Come on. A louder 10-second round of applause. I would request Mr. Sunil Kant Munjal to kindly grace the stage, and let's have a huge round of applause for our director, the one who's always happy, Mr. Happy. इनके लिए जरा जोरदार तालियां. Can we please have a very special Thanksgiving memento from our side? Very well done. And I really hope that this becomes a proper theatrical play where we can showcase. This is a proper production which was showcased. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the awards this time. The BML Munjal Awards. Thank you for being a part of this glorious occasion.